So I'm going to read a couple of sentences here that are going to answer some of the questions on getting all the enablers used. And I'm going to read these, and some people are going to get butthurt when they hear this. But the squad leader is the subject matter expert in all battle and individual drills. Is the subject matter expert of the squad's organic weapons employment and employment of supporting assets. Knows the weapon's effects, surface danger zones, and risk estimate distances for all munitions. Uses control measures for direct fire, indirect fire, and tactical movement effectively. Now,
false.
That's straight out of 21.8. Yeah, that's what the squad leader is supposed to be. Now, that guy would know how to use his enablers. The problem is that guy is not a subject matter expert in half of that. And that's on our senior guys, and that's on our squad leaders, and that's a whole other thing. Now, our weapons squad leader should be our senior squad leader, next to platoon sergeant, should be. So he should know all that stuff because he should have known it as a squad leader. Now you go down to team leader, and it basically says those same sentences for the team. So we're not building that subject matter expert to understand all those enablers. We're not building those dudes to get there. So it makes it hard when we start integrating new shit, when we've got old stuff. When we throw the Gustav at the 82nd, this guy doesn't have all his other equipment locked down, so he looks at it and a licky chewy new thing, he plays with it a bit. And that's why we're not using these enablers, all the thermals. We're not using the lasers the way they should be used. That's why, you know, Chuck's going off about people zeroing lasers because we're, you know, all the way back a year ago about how to zero a laser on a rifle. Because these dudes are the ones that should know, because the squad leaders don't know, Joe doesn't know. And that's where we get into, you know, when we get into machine gun theory, man, they're past paragraph 152 of the 21.8. And this stuff hasn't changed in a while. Maybe the order of the sentences has changed a little bit. And that's the hardest part, because dudes are not going to be getting machine guns run right. They're not going to, guys can't even tell the difference why they need a belt fed or why they want IAR. Then we start adding other things in there. The guys are going, well, I need to shoot anyway. I want to Go ahead.
Since 9/11, I have not met a single infantryman that could tell me how many classes of fire there were. I could not have a single infantryman tell me in what respect do those classes of fire apply, and I could not have any single infantryman tell me how many classes of fire per subset there were. And that's all 2167. Not a single 11 Bravo since 9/11 has been able to answer those questions for me.
Are you talking with respect to the gun, the ground, or the target truck?
That's your three classes in respect to the atmospherics. There are 2 in respect to the ground, there are 4 in respect to the target, and there are 6 in respect to the gun. Nobody can recite that. That when we're all talking machine gun knowledge, like that's common. Like, oh yeah, he's talking about machine gunnery. He's talking about the elements of the weapon squad leader's call for fire, blah, 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 blah. When I'm in an infantry platoon that is attached to me and the platoon sergeant can't give, you know, answer any of them, I'm like, all right, machine gunnery, truly a lost art.
And that's when we start talking this machine gun stuff. Like Chuck said, there's dudes that are listening to this that are weapon squad leaders, and I know that guy's out there if he's listening, that doesn't have a clue what we're talking about. He hasn't even cracked the books open. And that's why your most casualty producing weapon, and I sent Mike a cool PowerPoint that we ran for our course at Drum that talks about the effects of the machine gun in World War I. And they were just slaughtering people, but we had to learn machine gun techniques because they're brand new, and they were making shit up, and they were more effective, you know, 3 weeks into doing machine guns than we are, you know, 100 years after those dudes. And that just drives me crazy. And it's on the leadership. It doesn't fall into my book. My book says shoot gun this way, make it go boom. And the leadership is a completely other book. And I know guys that haven't opened a book since they changed from 7-8, and this was probably, I don't know, 2003 when we made it 21.8, and because everything that I need to know is covered in 7-8. And they're completely out of date. They don't even know what the hell they're supposed to be doing. Don't look at the books. And man, you write them books, not even buying them books. You write them books and you send them to schools, and you can't even get machine gunners.
Right. You know, I remember when officers used to do this stuff. When I was in the Rangers, the company commander watching platoon live fires would normally walk with the assault element, watch their IMT, and watch all that during the blank fire. And that way he had an idea. He's listening to the radios. He's making sure that the appropriate calls and control measures are being called at the right times so that support by fire is going to hose down his guys. That's where his greatest risk to his career was taking place, was that support by fire was not going to shift off Bunker 3 when first squad attempted to assault Bunker 3. So standing there, walking upright, looking for himself at the terrain. All right, there's the support by fire position. There's the bunker. This is how many degrees off they are. I'm comfortable with the timing call that squad leader just made. That all happened during blank fire. During live fire, company commander was on the gun line, watching the dudes, shooting at his other dudes. And that's when the weapon squad leader, like, that was his playbook. That was his report card. And if he heard some bullshit fire commands being called on that line, like, hey, weapon squad leader, you did not use all these elements of the call for fire. Like, where in the elements of call for fire is hammer? I want you guys to start hammering building 4. Where the fuck is hammer, squad leader? Like, negative. Improper fucking logo. Like, stupid mechanized table 8 bullshit, but being applied to a light infantryman that's got a big fat cope in, laying in fucking Mosquitoville. And I saw that and I was like, damn, company commander's taking all this verbiage shit serious. But he was ensuring that his NCOs knew, that they knew what the right answer was. Like, do you understand the difference in rates of fire, or don't you? And that's why you're using words like hammer. So, you know, it's one of the first times, and this is probably mid-90s, where I saw the officer corps really stepping into, at the time, what I thought was NCO business. And, you know, NCOs used to be the god SMEs. And more and more and more as the days went on, our non-commissioned officers got less technically and tactically proficient, and our officers filled the void. Like, we gave up dominance over the infantry platoon by shitty leadership and lack of technical and tactical proficiency. The officers didn't do that to us. We did that to ourselves. You know, now they own it. So that's the world. That's the world that the current NCO lives in, and he has nobody but his forefathers to blame for him being uneducated.
And a lot of times they don't care. They're happy the PL's doing it. They're just like, roger that, sir. They don't even care. And you know, then they get a little butthurt when somebody calls them out, and then they get over it and they let the O grade run everything.